So you want to travel around the world, but you're feeling a little bit unprepared.
Well, my name's Christian. I've been to over 70 countries.
And here are the 5 must-have apps that you need while traveling the world. Before we get into number 5, none of these apps are sponsored at all. These are genuinely 5 apps that I use almost every single day while traveling the world. And number 5 is going to be the apps of Bolt and Grab. Now, the reason that I'm putting both of these apps in at the number 5 spot is they are essentially the same exact thing. Bolt and Grab are both different versions of Uber. You may not know this, in some countries, Uber is illegal or they just have not adopted the program yet. Now, worst case scenario is if you are at the airport, you've just landed in a foreign country, you try to take an Uber and you realize they don't use that in that country. For some reason, you can't download one of the other apps and you don't want to get scammed by a taxi. That is why I always have Uber and Grab downloaded. Just to give you a heads up, Grab you are going to be using in Southeast Asia and Bolt you are going to be using basically everywhere else. In Europe, in South America, not in the United States. And you should even use these apps when you're in countries that accept Uber. The reason being is Uber is usually much more expensive than both Grab and Bolt. For example, here in Romania, that's the country I'm in right now, it is much more expensive to take an Uber than a Bolt. It's about 1.5 times more expensive. So have those downloaded, they'll save you a lot of time, peace of mind, and money. Number 4 is the app Get Your Guide. Now, this app is really phenomenal because it gives you basically every tour and activity that's available in a country, and you can choose from a wide range of different tour agencies. Yes, they might be a little bit more expensive than going local, but every single tour on Get Your Guide has a ton of reviews, and you can sort them by the most recent, so you can really get a feel if what you're paying for is worth the money. For example, I did Get Your Guides in Egypt and Peru, and the ones in Peru were absolutely worth every single penny, even the ones in Egypt, but the one in Peru, it was an entire day tour and it was only $28. Me personally, I think Get Your Guide is better than like TripAdvisor and Viator. I just think the fees for those sites are just too high. Now, number 3 is without a doubt my favorite. I've talked about it multiple times on this channel, the app Too Good To Go. You guys know me, while traveling, I'm always on a tight budget, and what Too Good To Go does is absolutely phenomenal for anyone trying to save money. Too Good To Go is this app that basically anytime a restaurant is making a lunch special or a dinner special, if there is extra food, they put it up on this app called Too Good To Go, and you can get the leftover food for basically supermarket prices. I know the first question you're gonna have is, oh, the food's probably old or expired. No, it's literally they just had too much food. Maybe not a lot of customers came in that day and they don't want the food to go to waste. And the best part is this app is not only for restaurants, they do it for bakeries, they do it for supermarkets. You can get this thing called a surprise bag where basically the supermarket's gonna put a bunch of things in there that either are on discount or are going to expire soon, like maybe some vegetables or proteins, and you can get them for super cheap. You can get kilos of groceries for like $5. 1 kilo is roughly 2.2 pounds. Number 2, maybe the most important and maybe one of the most frequently asked question, it's about my health insurance. I've answered this a couple times. I use the health insurance, the travel insurance Alliance, and they actually have an app, which is where I get my insurance from. The app is called Travel Smart Alliance. On there, you can see a bunch of different plans. You tell them what country you're going to, for how long. For me, I always do 3 to 6 month basically plans. I select a country that I'm gonna be in for most of the time and it covers me for whatever I need. There's different options, but for me, I usually do the middle option. It's about $24 a month for significant health insurance. I also always have a backup. That's why I always use travel credit cards. My travel credit cards have built-in travel and health insurance, so I'm always double prepared just in case something goes wrong. Just to let you know, in 2 years of traveling the world, basically nothing has gone wrong. So hopefully you don't need it, but just in case you do. And the number 1 best app that you should have on your phone if you are going to be traveling anywhere outside of your home country are both Google Maps and Google Translate. No, again, I'm cheating here with the 2, but I think they pair so nicely with each other. If you already have both of them, that's great, but there are 2 special things for each app that you need to know. Number 1, for Google Translate, you can download any language in the world offline, which basically means when you are in a new country and you haven't gotten a SIM card or service yet, you can still convert things into your own language without internet connection. Trust me, this has saved me more than a few times. Now, it's not 100% accurate when it's offline, but I'd say it's at least 90 to 95%, and that's all you need. And the second part of this, with Google Maps, you can download the map of the city or even the country you're in offline as well. This is super important when you are landing in a new country, especially if you're by yourself, because then you can see, one, how do I get to my accommodation? Maybe you get in a taxi, and this will allow you to see and make sure the taxi is taking you the right way for a safety precaution. Trust me, downloading my maps offline, I always do it before I go to a new country. If I'm going somewhere I've been before, I never really do, but they do save all of the maps that you download. There is a limit, but you usually will never run into it. Travelers, those are 5 of the most important apps that I have on my phone at all times while traveling. There are many more, so if you want me to make a part 2 of this, I totally can do that. A huge thank you to all the Patreon, Facebook, and Instagram subscribers. On YouTube, we just got above 40,000, so I really do appreciate you guys. We are chasing that 100,000 and that play button. I appreciate it, guys. I will see you soon in the next video, and I hope you have a great rest of your weekend. Bye-bye.